So now that the Lexus TX and the Grand Highlander stop sale has resumed, we should be seeing better sales reports from Lexus and Toyota in the upcoming months. However, because the resume just started, we are going to expect sales report for Lexus being a little bit lower. So in this video, we will go around the world to look at sales numbers and see if the current lineup can keep the momentum going for this brand. Let's get to it. Alright, so Toyota Canada releases October sales. So they're saying that they sold a record number of electrified vehicles, 11,167 vehicles that are electrified. And that totally makes sense because, Camry is now purely a hybrid, and that's why it's up 66.3%. But one thing that I think we should look at is zero emission vehicles, 3,563, and saying that these are the plug-in hybrids, and they're saying that the RAV4 Prime is up almost 200% for the month, and October sales for BZ4X is also up 111.3%. So definitely we're seeing a lot more electrified vehicles being sold. And then when you look at the hybrids, you can see that the RX hybrid is up 4.4%. But when you look at the sales, Toyota Canada is actually down 10.2% in October compared to last year. And then when you look at Lexus, they're also down 3.2%, so 2,528. And I think I said this before, a lot of it is because probably 2023 was a catch-up year and they sold a lot more vehicles than normal. So here we have the Lexus Canada sales numbers for 2024, and you can see here we broke 2 months, February and June, and then every other month we actually had less vehicles sold compared to last year. And even when you look at it, 2024 September they sold 2,657, more than last year's 2,578. So without the TX in the market, they actually sold more. And then now October, I think the last few days of October, that's when the TX resumed being sold. So that shouldn't show the numbers. If it was like mid-month, I think they probably would have broken the October number. But compared to 2018's 2,916, that was still nowhere close. So then when you look at it, we have 2 months left. So if we look at 2 months here, that's 4,500 vehicles from last year. And then when we look at previous year, 2022, about 4,000 vehicles. So from what we're seeing here, I don't think Lexus Canada will break the 30,000 sales mark. Right now, when you add 4,000, you're talking about probably 28,000 to 29,000 vehicles. Unless there's a major backlog of TXs that could actually be sold immediately and there is the demand for it. Unless that happens, I don't see it going anywhere close to 30,000. So when you look at it, 2023 up to October, 26,000 vehicles. So now 24,000, it's only 1,800 short. They can catch up, but I don't think that'll be close. But let's not look at 2023. Let's look at previous years. You can see that there is a gradual growth, which is a good sign for Lexus Canada. So here we have the Lexus USA numbers, and the great thing of the US, there is breakdown by model. So we can actually do a little bit more analysis here. So first thing is the UX, it really needs a major refresh. It's 416 for October, and I didn't report in September, but numbers are very similar. It's down 50% across the board for the past 2 months. So 7,300 roughly. And right now we're projecting about 8,454 vehicles to be sold this year for the UX. Compare that to 11,000 last year. That is a major drop compared to previous years. So since UX has been launched, it just seems to be continuing to drop year over year. Even with the 5th generation hybrid system, it's not going anywhere. We move over to the IS, 1367, down from last year, and also September, same thing, down from last year as well. 15,758, and compared to last year, same like 10 months, 18,000. So right now we're looking at about projecting 18,000, similar to just 10 months of last year. So again, the IS is also not selling as well as it did previously. ES, we're waiting for a refresh, and there has been some leaks on the refresh. It's not a total refresh. It looks like it's just minor changes here and there, getting the light bar at the back, getting Lexus spelt out, and headlight changes. So this seems like another mid-cycle refresh. So I don't know where the ES, like the 500E, is going to come in place, but we'll have to see. Is 2026 that model year? Seems like 2025 is not. But then when you look at the ES, it's definitely doing better than last year to date. So like 33,800 to 32,000, it's doing better. And projecting right now about 41,000. So very similar to 2022 numbers, which is a very good thing for the current ES. NX. So NX, the second generation NX, really have pushed the vehicle further. So last year, 74,000 vehicles sold. Right now, to year to date, it's 59,000. And you look at last year, 58,000 up to October, they're still almost 1,000. So they're like 600 to 700 vehicles over last year's numbers. So projection is 75,000. So it could be another good year for the NX. Really have to see if they can chug out that number. If not, it will be very, very close. Then we look at the RX. So the RX, we did very well in October. 10,512 vehicles compared to last year. Like compared to since 2019, this is the best October ever. So when you look at the numbers, 93,000 compared to last year, 92,000, it seems like they are doing better than last year. And when you look at 2021, they had 94,000. They're only like 200 vehicles short there. So they could hit another record here. I don't know. Projection wise, it's about 116,000. Very close to 2021. LS, another low sell volume vehicle, 140. Doesn't really change much. It's down 17%. Again, looking at it, they sell about 2,000 right now. Still healthy number, I would say. It's not a cheap car to sell at this time of days with interest rates going that high. So I think 21,000 is not bad for an overall year. LC, same thing, low selling, 68, 1362. We're looking at 1621. So not as good as last year. GX, the new GX. So 3,047. Last month, 3,022. You can still see that there's significant growth. There's still growth here. Definitely not as good as 2021, but 23,953. If you project 31,397, a little bit under last year, but I think it's because of the slow start of the new model. And it does seem like the new model is still selling very similar to previous years. Not saying that, oh, it's wow, they're selling way more. It doesn't look like that. So we'll have to see if the new GX will make any difference. There has been very negative on the quality or the materials used, but the car is totally different. So when we look at the LX has been very good in 2023. I think 2024 is very similar. 608 in October, 5,040 and 5,420 in total, 6,428 projections. So not as good as last year, but again, it could be another catch-up year last year. So if you look at the growth, it's definitely better than previous years for the LX already. So definitely good numbers to see at this point. RC, another slow selling one, 157, 1527, and we're projecting 1837, which is better than last year, which is already very good, but it's hard to say. Then we have the battery electric RZ. So talking about the RZ, Japan, they actually just I would say yesterday, they actually went and registered an RZ600E. What does that mean? It either means that they have better batteries or better motors. So, with that being said, it would mean that we will have more battery electric vehicles and stronger battery electric vehicles as well. So, let's go and flip here and see. So, you can see here they have the RZ550E, 500E, and then they also have the 350E, But then you can see here they registered an RZ600E, and that's 1 day ago. So definitely we're going to see a lot of more powerful RZs on the road very soon. So 350E, they had the 450E, and now they have a 350E, and now they're going to have a 500E, a 550E, and now we're seeing another trademark of a 600E. So what does that mean? Better batteries, better motors. That would actually make a big difference. Hopefully, range will make sense, but it's hard to say with no information at this point. Only thing that we know is there's a new trademark, RZ600E. So back to here, the TX. So 433 got sold in October, so it has resumed. Definitely not to 5,000 numbers, but 433 in probably a week, not bad at all. Probably less than a week. So projecting, we may see maybe 5,000, maybe 3,000 ish. So if they can actually do 10,000 more, that will be extremely good. But we're being a little bit conservative, 28,572. So looking at the total, we're looking at 272,074,000. We're down 2.3% compared to last year for the month of October. But projection wise, we're looking at 346,000. So probably if this does happen, it's a breaking year again for Lexus USA. Very hard. It really depends on the TX and the RX, and could they actually pump out more? And could the NX also pump out more? Could they actually break the record or not? So definitely they're on the line for breaking the record again and really breaking the 2015 record, but we will have to see how does that all turn out. All right, so when we look into the breakdown of the gas hybrid for the NX, right now, this is up to September's numbers. We can see 54% is about almost half percent is gas only, 36% is hybrid, and you can see that's a significant increase. And also the plug-in hybrid is about 9%, and that is also an increase of about almost 2% compared to 2023. And then when we look at the RX 2024, there's a drop in the gas and there's an increase, a very minor increase. And then when you look at the plug-in hybrid, it's about 3% at this point. Again, it's expensive, and maybe that's why the plug-in hybrid will be much lower. Then we look into the TX, 82% is gas, 16% is hybrid, and just 1.76% is the plug-in hybrid. So definitely still not there for plug-in hybrids to actually get higher percentage, but the hybrids needs to be higher. This 16% just still seems a bit too low. All right, so that's what we have for Lexus USA. Follow me on Instagram at LSFT Videos. You can see updates on my experience with the NX 450H Plus, which may not be shown on any future videos. You can reach out to me via direct messaging if you have any questions on your Lexus. If you like this video, you can provide me feedback in the comments below, like this video, share it with your friends. This definitely will help with the YouTube algorithms. Press the subscribe button and bell icon and get notified when new videos show up. And lastly, if you want to support me further, you can provide me a super thanks, or visit my Amazon storefront before you purchase anything from Amazon, and or you can purchase products from the list on the items that I've been using with my vehicle or at home at no extra cost to you. And now let's continue with the video. Now we're at Lexus UK. So UK, let's quickly look at UK. So UX, same story, 230 in October, 2,345, not really doing that well. I think we're looking at about 3,000-ish at most. ES, 11. Again, 518. ES is not doing well at all in UK. The LS, 2. They haven't sold any LSs for the last quarter already. LC 32, again, low selling. RC, low selling, only got 9 sold. Then we look into the NX gas. This is the hybrid, 96 sold in October. 302, a very healthy number for the last 2 months for the plug-in hybrid for NX. So 1879, definitely looking at they will break this record if they could continue to sell the same amount. They could be very close. But then when you look at the gas, numbers aren't doing as well. So 3,331 to October compared to 5,000 last year, definitely hard to beat. And when you look at the 2022 number, they're very close. They're almost there. So definitely the combination is not well, but I think we will have to see the last 2 months if they can go over 4,000 or not. Then we look at the RX 26 and 92 in the plug-in hybrid, selling about 1,233, so 2,000. I don't think they're going to break any records for the RX as well. So moving over, RZ electrified 173, more than last year, so 1,720 battery electric vehicles being sold. And then we have the LM5 being sold. There's 38 being sold, so a very low volume car as well. And then I think the highest volume is the LBX. So when you look at it, it seems like the LBX has taken over the crown, but the best-selling vehicle. And I think the UX is one that's hurting, and even the NX is hurting. If you look at it, 4,722. So there's no vehicle model that can hit 4,722 in this chart. So definitely the LBX is the one that's the crown. So when you look at total sales for October, 1,320. Best-selling October, at least for the last 6 years here. And when you look at it, 13,950, that's already better than 2022, better than 2021, better than 2020. So looking at this, they should break the 15,963 record that they did last year and probably get to 16,000 vehicles. So in Japan, you can look at up to September, 68,856. Compared to last year's 75,000, they're definitely selling a lot less. But September was a good month. They sold like 400 something vehicles more than last year. And it seems like it's the best September, at least in the last 6 years. So when you look at it, could they break the records? Hard, very hard for Lexus Japan. But when you look into North America, 273,000 vehicles. And when you look at the last 6 years, this is the best year you can see. And when you look at it, last year they sold 355,000 in North America. I think it's possible that they will break this record in North America. It really depends on interest rates and if the TX can really push these numbers up. We look into Asia. Asia seems to be recovering a little bit more. 172,000. Compared to the last 2 years, it's selling more. But again, you have to keep in mind, Asia has a lot of BEVs. So probably these numbers could drastically drop, or things could be recovering a little bit, but we will have to see the numbers at this point. They're doing better than the last 2 years, but not to its peak. We look in Europe. 59,000, so that is 9,000 more vehicles compared to last year. So definitely doing much better in Europe. Hard to say if they'll break the record, but I think they could because they're only about 10,000 short. And if you look at Europe every month, October, November last year, that's already 10,000. So about 75,000 vehicles probably would be safe for Europe, which is a much better landscape than the past few years. Then we look at Oceania. Oceania has been interesting. Last year, 12,000 vehicles. Right now, up to September, 10,900 and something. Definitely not as good as last year, but if you look at the years before, it's actually not too bad. It actually has increased the growth. Middle East, when you look at it, 3,614. So much better than last year's September, but total is only 33,000. So they're still short, but definitely same story. Look at the previous years. Last year was very good. This year they're very close, but it's likely that they cannot catch and break the record again. Then when we look into Africa, Africa is very interesting. 896 is actually the best year to date to September. So very close. I think they could break the 1,000 mark again. Right then, when we look at the worldwide sales, 621,911 up to year to date September. So that is an increase. You can definitely see there is an increase. And 67, but you can see that this year they really haven't broke any records really. At this point, this is the record to be that they broke, but can they break it? If they do 70,000 every month, they could probably break the record again, but it's going to be tough. So based on that, 621,000, you can look at that. That number is nothing to be afraid of, because when you look at it, 2022, they're very close to those numbers, and there's 3 more months that numbers have not come in. So definitely 760,000 is going to be easily broken. It's really just now, can they break the 824,000? Can they do 825? Hard to say, because we don't know what will happen in the next few months, and we will have to see if the numbers will continue to grow or not. So there has been reports that Toyota is posting the first quarterly profit drop in 2 years because they're seeing demand is cooling. And one thing, yes, definitely the TX and Grand Highlander is not helping. But when you look at the numbers, they are really saying that they're seeing that the profit numbers are going down. They do see hybrids are accounting for 41% of the global sales. And they're also saying that they're forecasting a 20% decline compared to last year. So it's going to hurt. So even though we say that we potentially could see an increase, but this one is going to be hard. Very hard to predict in today's world, but definitely the hybrids are really helping them keep up and not drop. Like some people saying that Toyota is going to go under because they are similar to Kodak when technology changes. So definitely we do see a new trademark. Good news that the TX and Grand Highlander is now back on the roster, and numbers have not dropped that significant. So there we have it, worldwide sales up to September, October, and we'll reconnect next time when we have new numbers. I hope that you found that this video was informative, and until next video, drive safely. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please comment, like, share this video, and if you want to see more videos like this, you can subscribe to my channel and press that bell icon to get notified when new videos are posted. And if you'd like to support this channel, you can provide me a super thanks. And until next time, cheers.